The fourth nama of the Lalita Sahasranama is Chitagni kunda Sambhoota. Chitagni means the fire of consciousness, and kunda is the altar. Sambhoota is the one who arose, who came from the Chitagni kunda. So, what is this Chitagni? In the story about Sri Lalita Avirbhava, we saw how Indradi Devatas offered themselves into the fire called Chidagni. They burnt in the Homakunda pure consciousness, pure knowledge as Agni, and offered themselves into it. And from it arose the Supreme Goddess, is what we saw in the story. So, to understand what Chit is, let me give you a small example. What happens to you when you are aware about something? Some kind of an inner opening happens up, right? So you're suddenly open to something. Suddenly there is some part of you that opens up and ignorance melts away. That is consciousness, awareness. Imagine if you are absolutely conscious, absolutely aware, in sense of knowing things. Yeah, so that is the Chit Shakti, the consciousness power that we possess, and knowledge is power, isn't it? So imagine all of the consciousness, all of the intelligence, all of the knowledge put together, as in all the knowledge, all the awareness in the entire creation put together. Then that is Sri Lalita herself, pure consciousness. And she arose from that. And here she is said to have arose from the fire of consciousness. So Chit itself is Shakti, pure consciousness, that awareness, knowledge, ultimate absolute knowledge itself is Shakti. And Chit cannot be different from its power, right? Conscious, the power of knowledge cannot be different from the Shakti. Therefore, the Nama is beautifully framed that the goddess herself is the fire called Chit. It does not need any fuel to burn. It has consciousness. Chit Shakti is something that burns by itself, and by burning, it burns away all our ignorance and leads us to who we truly are, shows us what our real power is, our real Swarupa is. And therefore, the Sambhoota of, that is the manifestation of Sri Lalita, is said to have come from the Chit Shakti, the fire of Chit Shakti. So here we need to understand that consciousness itself, the absolute consciousness itself is Shakti. It's the supreme power, supreme Brahman. And therefore, there is no difference between the Shakti and the source, right? This is like, you have a bulb. The bulb gives out light. The bulb is Shiva. The light that comes from the bulb, the source, is Shakti. So you cannot separate the light, the lamp, from the source of light, isn't it? So this is the Advaita Bhava presented here, that Sri Lalita is the supreme Brahman and is not different from it. And it's a beautiful metaphor to the inner consciousness that awakens, where Sri Lalita awakens within ourselves, within us, to show us that, our true selves is where she is, or she is our true selves within. So the inner awakening is the metaphor given here. So when we reach a state of absolute consciousness, when the Chit Shakti within us blossoms, Sri Lalita appears within us. This is the inner metaphor, and the outer metaphor is all the gods offered themselves into the Chit Agni, and from there arose Sri Lalita to fulfill the divine purpose, right? So there is so much depth to this nama, and every time we chant, we need to remember the greatness of Chit Shakti, right? And how that supreme knowledge, supreme awareness, supreme intelligence, illuminance is herself, and she is not somewhere to be found outside. she's actually within us, that we have that Chit Shakti and she is within us. So this is what we need to contemplate on when we are chanting this nama, Chitagni kunda Sambhoota. Thank you.